So far, a 10-3 lead for Northwestern. This Wildcats team a little bit more efficient so far on the offensive end, but how can Pitt perhaps change that defensively? They just did with a 5-second pull.
But this is a physical team that wants to get in the passing lanes and play downhill. But on that last play, you can hear the coaches from Pitt calling out the play that Northwestern was going to run. No crowd in here. You can hear everything on the bench.
Here's Champagnie on the wing for three. That will not fall. Ty Berry over to grab the rebound and bring it across. Nice pass into the lane for Ryan Young, who lays it in.
Young with the rim run right down the middle. Target hand, Ty Berry delivered.
Now Johnson fighting his way to the basket. It won't fall. Second chance opportunity goes for Tony.
That's what Pitt does now. They're going to get the ball on the rim, and they're going to attack the glass. Tony with the tip and in traffic. There's that look ahead. That is what Chris Collins wants. He wants that ball shoved ahead, head up, eyes up on the rim. Good for the men running, and the wings going to the corners.
Kevin, one thing that Northwestern has done this year, which is a little bit different from last, is they're using Pete Nance at the 5 and Robbie Barron at the 4th, and starting lineup play a little faster, but that time Ryan Young, the beneficiary of running down the floor.
Young, old school player, 9 points a game last year. He'll be a big factor for the Wildcats. It's from that depth that Chris Collins talked about.
That one tipped around out of bounds off of Young. It'll be Pittsburgh basketball.
Well, Pitt likes this high ball screen. See if they go back to it. They've had some good looks. It's not able to finish in the paint.
There's Jeff Capel in his 3rd season as the Pittsburgh head coach. Went back to Duke after coaching at Oklahoma. Of course, was at VCU before that. He's had some very successful stops in his head coaching career. Now trying to flip this Pitt program.
They mentioned VCU and Oklahoma. He turned it in year number 2. This is year number 3 for Pitt. A little more patience, but they've had an outstanding recruiting year.
And now a foul against the Wildcats. Let's take a look at Gaines trying to get that ball away from Champagnie, but the whistle blown on Anthony Gaines, the captain for this Northwestern team, a redshirt junior. Northwestern has no seniors, Kevin, so this is as young a team as it gets in the Big Ten.
And they've also got experienced youngsters. They led the Big Ten in freshman points last year. They're all back again.
Now underneath, Ryan Young gets that one away from Terrell Brown, and back down the floor comes Greer.
Young held his ground, arm to the ceiling.
Greer into the lane, puts it in, and a foul. Nice move from Ryan Greer, the junior from Atlanta, on the board for the first time, and Northwestern controlling early, leading 14-5. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Continental Tire.
as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Ryan Greer with the free throw good, and now Northwestern with a 10-point lead. 11:40 to go here in the first half alongside Kevin Lehman. I'm Jordan Burnfield. So far, Pittsburgh just 2 of 19 from the field, make it 2 for 20. After that miss, they just can't get anything going.
And Jordan, you feel like Northwestern should be even farther ahead because of the miscues by this Pitt team. The big three have not been able to get the ball in the basket. They need some lid lifters.
They need something to get going for sure. Now Ryan Young will check out of the game as Northwestern makes a couple of substitutions here. Pittsburgh, most of it starting 5 on the floor.
Pitt 0 for 6 from distance, and now 2 of 20 overall. And they've not been able to create anything with their defense.
And when you're struggling from the field, it's just about getting one to fall, right?
It is, and you want to get something going downhill too. You need an easy one. You need to run out, you need a steal. They're going against a set Wildcat defense almost every trip.
Look at that move from Xavier Johnson, but can't finish underneath. My goodness.
No frustration from Johnson as he flails his arm after that one skipped off the rim.
And now a foul away from the ball as Pete Nance was trying to back down his defender, but they're going to get Tony.
Nice crossover. He gets in deep. Comes back on the right side. There's a magnet up there, repelling that basketball.
It's been that kind of start so far for Pittsburgh. 2 for 21 from the field. They have not scored in the last 2 minutes, 4 seconds. The inbound goes to Barron. Baseline jumper won't fall.
And Tony has all 5 of the Pitt points.
Feet underneath. Koulibaly. Now Champagny draws the foul on Robbie Barron.
A good baseline cut by Champagny as his defender turned his head. Champagny not able to finish through that traffic. This also helps you too, Jordan. Get to the free throw line. Champagne's got to see one go through the net.
It's not like Pittsburgh's taking bad shots here, right? I mean, they're getting close looks. They're just not having them fall.
They've got some good looks on the pick and roll, inside around the rim. And Northwestern has swarmed in there, hands to the ceiling.
Justin Champagny, really strong freshman season for the Pittsburgh Panthers. One of the reasons why Jeff Capel feels like this thing can flip in year number 3.
He calls Champagny tough. Rebounds, really wants to be a good player, works at it.
Pete Nance at the top of the key for 3, too strong. 1 rebound to Koulibaly.
Northwestern getting back defensively on those misses. Pitt can't find anything in transition. They're going against a loaded defense every trip.
Johnson against Bowie. That shot won't go.
Well, not a good shot. Floater off 1 foot, fading left. This Pitt team is getting frustrated at the offensive end. But again, they're only down 9.
And now Nance with the hook, and that won't go. So at least credit Pitt for the defense that it's playing.
We mentioned, it just feels like the Wildcats should have a huge margin, more than the 9 that we're looking at.
Tony cross-court pass, but an offensive foul call before the shot. Bowie taking the charge. It's been that kind of first half as Tony picks up the foul, his second.
Well, the sophomore makes a senior play. Gets out there, hands to the ceiling, holds his ground. Easy call for the officials.
So Wadis Tony will go to the bench for the Panthers.
Tony's got 5 of Pitt's 6 points.
Nance trying to get it inside on Deej, knocked out of bounds by Pitt.
Now, Chris Collins talked to us about putting Nance in that high post. Last year he played more of a 4 spot. Now they're going to take advantage of his ability to pass, open up that lane. You see, you catch it in the funnel that last trip, and he scored earlier with an assist to his teammate earlier in this game. That one just skipped out.
They go to Nance in the high post again.
See how open that lane is.
Miller Kopp, the open three. Too strong for him. Now Northwestern cooling. And now on the drive, another miss from Pitt from point-blank range as Johnson can't get it to fall. Bowie inside to Kopp, who's wide open.
Great find by Bowie. Kopp running that right wing. Bowie head up again. We saw earlier Ty Berry with that great pass this time. Oh, Bowie delivers the dime.
Pittsburgh 2 for 23 from the field so far. And now a block called on Anthony Gaines.
Now this is that fast-paced basketball we talked about. Little kick back to Bowie. He's got his eyes up. Great run to the rim by Miller Kopp.
Miller Kopp has been so efficient for this Northwestern team, Kevin. Last year he led Northwestern in scoring and three-point field goals made, free throws, minutes. A strong player, steady presence in their lineup. And scores efficiently, even though he takes a lot of threes by design.
Collins calls Miller Kopp the stabilizer, the rock.
It's certainly been that for this Northwestern team. And that jumper finally falls for William Jeffress.
It took a freshman to get the lid off for Pitt. That was a loose ball turnover. Stepped up and knocked it down.
17-6, Northwestern the lead. Ryan Young trying to muscle his way in, but a nice job defensively right there from Abdul Kareem Coulibaly. And that brings us to a timeout on the floor. 17-8, Northwestern the lead, despite the fact Pitt's 3 for 25.
This holiday, get the phone everyone wants on the 5G America's been waiting for.
Verizon 5G is next level.
Switch now and save $700 on Galaxy S20 Plus. And get another on us. Plus, select unlimited plans include Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN.
Tire. We welcome you back to Evanston, where Robbie Barron and Northwestern have a 17-8 lead as we return to action under 8 minutes to go here in this first half of play, but it has been a struggle for Pittsburgh offensively. 3 for 25 from the field. Though Northwestern is only 7 of 22, so it's not like either one of these teams is lighting it up offensively yet.
Jeff Capel had timeout. The Grease board out trying to draw up a play for his Pitt Panthers.
Here is Ithiel Horton for 3, well short. A long rebound raced down by Johnson. He'll take a 3 and connects from the wing.
Johnson struggled to score at the rim and able to pick up that long rebound. Rhythm step in 3. Johnson delivers.
Granted, Pittsburgh's only played 3 games so far this season, but Johnson averaging 17 a game coming in. That's his first basket tonight. Boo Buie knifes into the lane against a double team, tries to feed it out. It's loose on the floor. Who's got it? Possession arrow will keep it with Northwestern.
Good activity and defensive rotation by Pitt. Buie drove baseline, got caught in a trap, nowhere to go.
Shot clock was running all the way to the end, too. So our officiating crew is going to have to figure out how much time. Yeah, 1 second put on the clock.
Well, still, if you're Jeff Capel, you got to feel pretty good about this situation. They have struggled to score the basketball, but here they're only down 6.
Shot clock violation there as they tried to just feed it into Audige. He was like a receiver trying to catch that in triple coverage there, Kevin.
They didn't have much time, trying to go over the top to the sophomore. Now think about this. Pitt is 4 of 27. They're down 6 points.
Yeah.
You got to be actually feel fairly good about that. Not the shooting, but that you're still within distance.
Assuming this game is close at halftime, you'd think that would be a point of emphasis for Coach Capel as Champagnie knocks down a 3, and all of a sudden Pittsburgh's starting to find some offense.
A side ball, pick and pop by Champagnie.
Now it's a 3-point game.
It's amazing when you get those balls go through the net. The activity at the defensive end steps up for Pitt.
Pete Nance too strong on a 3 try. Johnson directing traffic. Gets into the lane. The kick. Jeffress for 3. Won't fall, and a foul against Coulibaly as he goes over the back of Ryan Young.
Young, a good job of holding his position. There's that pick and pop move. Champagnie just steps back, clicks his heels. It's the nylon.
Champagnie now 4 points, 1 of 6 from the field. But he does have 7 rebounds, which shows you, Kevin, that he's been active at least when he has not been scoring here early.
He had 4 triples against Northern Illinois, so he has that range.
Chase Audige knocks down the jumper.
I like that about Audige's game. He can score off the bounce. He can get in the heart of the defense.
Here's Champagnie on the wing. Misses that 3 try. Nance corrals it to Audige. Turnover by Northwestern.
Yeah, Audige picks up the ball, runs with it. Concern for Chris Collins. He knows what we've talked about. This team has shot poorly for Pitt, but just down a nickel.
Here's Johnson for 3 from the wing. Won't fall. Long rebound. Horton. This game of the ACC Big Ten Challenge, Florida State picked up a win, so the ACC now with 3 victories, but the Big Ten with 6. And so far, Northwestern the lead. Alongside Kevin Lehman, I'm Jordan Burnfield. Thanks so much for joining us. Boo Buie going to the free throw line now. In a game that so far, frankly, has been two teams that have struggled on offense. Pittsburgh is 5 of 32 from the field here in the first half, and Northwestern not much better, just 8 of 24.
Jordan, has been a bit of a rock fight by both these teams, the offensive ends.
Bowie was fouled on a 3, so he gets to the line here. Bowie, the sophomore from Albany, New York. See, Robbie Barron so far 5 points, scored them early in this game, but has picked up a couple of fouls. Dees Toney, 5 points, 5 rebounds for Pitt. Bowie connects on all 3, but his first 3 points in this game to extend the Northwestern lead back to 8, and he'll take a seat now as Ryan Greer, the backup guard, back in for the Wildcats.
And Chris Collins, he wants to see Bowie be more aggressive at the offensive end, more of a scorer mentality, along with running this high-powered offense that's a little bit sluggish here in the first half.
Here's Koulibaly off to Johnson on the wing. Tries to drive into the lane, lost the handle. Barron got it, and a foul coming up.
The last few possessions, Johnson has tried to take this on himself. He's pushed away the ball screen and tried to just drive it. That time, loose with the basketball.
Xavier Johnson picks up the foul, his first, and now Robbie Barron to the free throw line, the sophomore. Third on Northwestern in scoring here in the early going this season. Barron 6 for 8 from the free throw line so far this season. Well, the NBA preseason starts Friday. We'll have the Kings and Blazers from Moda Center in Portland, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. NBA already returning in what has been an unprecedented year, but the season finishing out in exciting fashion, and they're already back.
Short turnaround for the NBA.
Now Pittsburgh back on offense with Johnson on the wing against Greer. Into the post, Toney down low, swatted away by Robbie Barron. William Jeffers tried to put that one up, and Barron says, I don't think so.
Jeffries hesitated just enough. Barron comes from the weak side. Outstanding timing, but now, Robbie, you got to swat it not quite so hard. Keep it in bounds for your teammate to pick up. And he's trying to send a message.
Going for the style points there.
Send a message to Pitt. Much more activity out of Pitt here. Player movement since that last time out.
Justin Champagnie now with 6 as he muscles that one into the cup.
Champagnie struggled early, starting to find his range.
Chase Audige for 3 and the foul. Chase Audige now with 7 first half points as Northwestern extends the lead again.
Chase Audige knows where they hung the hoop. He used the ball screen, squares, delivers, takes the bump.
And the foul against John Hughley, the freshman from Cleveland, who's the runner-up for Mr. Basketball in Ohio a year ago. Big-time prospect for this Pitt team. And now Audige trying to complete the 4-point play, but he cannot.
That'll get you a seat on the bench if you're a freshman fouling the three-point shooter.
Makes it worse when they end up swishing it home, too. Now Champagnie trying to get it inside, but a foul coming up against Northwestern, and it brings us to a timeout on the floor. Northwestern 27, Pitt 16. Under 4 to go here in Evanston in the first half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Pandora.
Time report is on the way. Coming up, much more on the thriller you just saw in Tallahassee, plus the comments of Coach K that have sparked debate throughout college basketball. On to the ACC acquitting itself nicely tonight.
Absolutely. Came into the day down 6-1, now 6-4. ACC availing itself quite nicely, Seth.
I like what both of these coaches are doing, Jeff Capel and Chris Collins. These are two guys that understand building an identity and culture. And I know Doug Collins is watching in Arizona, and he's hanging on every single possession.
Jordan?
Thank you, and you guys are right. That is one thing that if the fans were here, you would see Doug Collins sitting a few rows behind Chris, and he would be reacting more than Chris would be on the sideline.
Yeah, we had a great talk with Chris about his relationship with his father, Doug, and how he's helped him coaching. It's not so much about X and O's, but he's talked about how to lead a team and build a program, because as Chris said, every job Doug took over in the NBA was a rebuild job.
Doug Collins obviously very successful for a long time, and is so proud of what Chris was able to do getting Northwestern to the NCAA tournament 3 years ago, and now you're looking at the makings of what Collins hopes will be another Northwestern NCAA tournament team.
Well, Chris Collins likes to make up this team. The pieces fit together well.
Chase Audige is one of those nice pieces. He knocks down another three, and he's got 10 first-half points.
Well, he added that piece from William and Mary, set out last year, all-freshman team in the Colonial Athletic Conference, and he can score the rock.
Chase Audige, former Colonial Athletic all-rookie team. As you take a look at him with a smooth stroke here.
Again, they're playing through Pete Nance in the high post. That's one of the changes Chris Collins made, Jordan, to get him off that 4 spot and make Nance a 5. It really spreads out the defense, his ability to pass it and score it from the funnel.
Xavier Johnson at the free throw line. Knocks down the first. He's been such an offensive force here early this season, but tonight so far, Chris Collins and company have been able to neutralize him, just 4 points in the opening 20 to this point. Way short on that free throw try.
That one barely hit the floor.
At least he got a little nap. I've been there.
That's been the night for Pitt, though. They have struggled to find inside that rim.
Jump is called. So offensive, it'll go the other way. And it'll be Champagny to inbound.
If you're Jeff Capel, you look at that score, just under 3 left. Can I get this thing down to single digits going to halftime? On the side ball screens.
Tony with a nice move to the bucket. Audige Tony now with 7 first-half points quietly here for Pittsburgh.
Tony just willed that one. The basket came all the way from the left wing through the middle, through the heart of the Northwestern defense. No help side defense. Tony gets all the way to the base.
Gaines picking up his 3rd personal foul. So Northwestern with a couple of offensive fouls, giving possessions back to Pittsburgh. One thing that we've noticed here early in this game, for those who have just joined us, is that Pittsburgh started out 3 of 25 from the field. They're only 7 of 35 right now, but they're only down 11 points.
Well, I just mentioned Jeff Capel wants to get to single digits. He's going to get there on this possession if they can score it.
Really, though, they've been able to slow down Northwestern's pace, right, Kevin? I mean, this is a Northwestern team that had been scoring incredible numbers here early on. Granted, maybe not against the greatest of competition, but they scored 203 points in their first 2 games.
Well, Pitt has missed shots, but they have gotten back in transition and take away the running game of Northwestern. Small sample size, you mentioned, but still, they've made shots against Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Chicago State. 101 points a game for this Northwestern team. Pitt really trying to make them slog it out.
Under 2 minutes to go here in this opening half of play. Champagny working against Nance. Scoops it up around the rim and in. Nice move from Justin Champagny. And brings brings us within 10 with 1:46 to go in the half. Pittsburgh hanging around despite a rough offensive performance.
To the hip, hip, hobby, you don't stop the rocket to the bang, bang, boogie, say up, jump the boogie to the rhythm of
Nine-point lead for Chaseau Dige and the Northwestern Wildcats here on his home floor at Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston, Illinois. The ACC Big Ten Challenge, and Justin Champagnie, Kevin, one of those big three for Pittsburgh, starting to get things going now. Champagnie with 8 first-half points.
And Tony with 7. They need the other third of the big three, Johnson, to step up.
Champagnie closing in on a double-double, 8 points, 9 rebounds here in the first half.
Again, Northwestern playing at the pace that Pitt wants. They can't get this thing pushed up the floor.
Dige the kick, Nance for 3, it's good. Pete Nance on the board for the first time in this one.
Well, that's what Nance gives you at that 5 spot. A stretch 5-man with great passing ability. Makes it tough to guard this Northwestern half-court offense.
Now a block away from the ball. Bowie got tied up with Johnson.
There's a drive, the kick, the step up. Nance. He likes playing that 5-man. Those big guys don't like to come out and guard him, Jordan.
Pete Nance is a very versatile player. Of course, the son of Larry Nance. Had a long career in the NBA. His brother, Larry Jr., playing in the NBA for the Cavaliers. Saturday afternoon, college football continues on ABC and the ESPN app. Number 17, North Carolina, will be in Miami to take on the 10th-ranked Hurricanes, who have their sights set on a New Year's Six bowl game. It all gets started at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Miami got one on the board in the ACC Big Ten Challenge last night against Purdue. The ACC starting to creep back into this. Johnson hits the free throw.
Florida State with a hard-fought victory over Indiana.
Here's Dige, stops and pops, will not go. Champagnie rips down the rebound.
Champagnie has been active on the glass at both ends.
And now Jeffress the turnaround jumper, and Nance corrals it with one hand. 30 seconds to go here in the first half at Evanston.
3-second differential on the shot clock. They're going to run this down. Chris Collins telling Bowie what's his team to run. 1-4 flat.
8 seconds, 7 to shoot now. Bowie into the lane, floats it up there, no good. Loose on the floor, 3 seconds to go. Can Pitt get a shot off? Kopp knocks it away, and that will end the first half. Northwestern with an 11-point lead through 20 minutes, 33-22, and Chris Collins You're watching ESPN's Holiday Hoops presented by Pandora. Welcome to the ACC Big Ten Challenge presented by Continental Tire as we welcome you to Chicago for the start of the second half. Northwestern leading Pittsburgh by the score of 33-22. And here inside Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston, alongside Kevin Lehman, I'm Jordan Burnfield. Kevin, the first half wasn't an oil painting in terms of offense, but Chase Audige had a real good first half for Northwestern with 10 points.
Well, it's been a rock fight other than Chase Audige been able to find the rim. He gets one at the pass off of the big man in the post, and then he comes behind the screen, gets fouled on this three as he ripples it through, and then another handoff from Pete Nance. Nance has got 3 assists. 2 have been to Audige.
Chase Audige, 10 points for the Wildcats on 4 of 8 from the field, a couple of threes as well. Northwestern has had some balance in the scoring. As you see, 8 of 9 have been able to score, but both teams have turned the ball over quite a bit. Pittsburgh getting most of its points on second chance opportunities as the second half begins and the Wildcats have the basketball. Here is Audige, a wing 3 off target. Rebound to Champagny, and Justin Champagny now with 11 boards to go along with 8 points.
We talked about the big 3 of Pitt. That is Johnson, Tony, and Champagny. They've only got 1 basket other than those big 3.
One thing we talked about in the first half, Kevin, was the fact that Pittsburgh wasn't down by more despite their shooting struggles. I would imagine that that's something that Jeff Capel had to have addressed with his team during the break.
Well, they've got on the glass, got second chance points. They've been aggressive in that area, and they've stopped the Northwestern's fast break. But they've got to be able to get the lid off and get some baskets. And the big 3 needs some help. They've got to get Xavier Johnson going also. He's only got 1 field goal in that first half. Johnson just 1 of 9 for Pitt.
Koulibaly picks up the foul as Boo Buie knocks down the first free throw.
Boo Buie gets in there and gets his shoulder into the chest of Koulibaly.
Champagny another rebound as he is closing in on a career high. Horton trying to work inside off the double, and a whistle against Northwestern.
We've seen a lot of high ball screens in that middle funnel by Pitt. Koulibaly rolling to the rim. But Northwestern's backside defense, Jordan, has been very good. They've sucked over and able to take that roll man away.
Speaking of that defense, Robbie Barron goes out of the game now with 3 fouls. Anthony Gaines checks in. But that's a significant foul here early in this second half because Barron certainly provides size on defense, but also stretches the floor on offense.
Oh, big time stretch man at that 4 spot for Chris Collins. But you got Anthony Gaines there, the captain of this team, the defensive stopper.
Now Ithiel Horton picks up his 3rd foul, so he goes to the bench as well. 12-point lead for Northwestern here early in the second half.
Impressed by what we've seen from Pete Nance in the high post.
This time Buie is going to go to the basket. Can't finish with the right hand.
Got a bit of a bump, but not able to finish.
Jeffress stops and pops from the baseline. Will not fall. And there's Buie, Johnny on the spot to corral it.
And that is a gang rebound. Your point guard can rebound the defensive end. He's got no one to block out. Good chase down by Buie.
We're talking about Pittsburgh, but if you're Northwestern here, you've had the lead for most of the game. You've taken advantage of the fact that Pittsburgh has struggled so much on the offensive end. What do you think Chris Collins' message was to his team?
Well, they've got to eliminate the second chance points by Pitt because they're going to throw it up on the rim, Jordan, and they're going to go try to get it back. A lot of their shots have been passes off the rim, so they've got to get a body on people, the Wildcats, and block out. 11 second chance points in the first half by Pitt. 0 for the Wildcats.
Something Chris Collins' team likely hopes to change here in this second half.
But Pitt has a lot more opportunities because they have missed so many shots.
Right, second chance points are that double-edged sword, right? Sometimes you get a lot of second chance points because you can't make on the first try.
It's skewed.
Dige the miss, and the rebound, Koulibaly.
And Northwestern with only one offensive rebound in this game.
Wildcats 11 of 34 from the field, just over 32%. And to shoot now for Pittsburgh. Inside, the miss from Tony, and it comes out to Bowie.
Bowie rebounds in traffic.
Dige, the step back, no. And another rebound for Champagny, who's been there all evening long, grabbing rebounds.
And Dige, he's hurt. He's calling for a substitution.
And now a foul, crumpled over on the side of the court. Northwestern player down. As Koulibaly goes in on Gaines.
Gaines tries to rotate over to get in front there late.
Anthony Gaines would not be a good player to lose for Northwestern, especially since last year he missed the final 21 games with a shoulder injury. The captain of this team, the redshirt junior, player with the most experience on this roster, but he's able to get up. See, walking a bit gingerly back towards the bench.
He's the defensive stopper.
Careful when diving into the Taco Bell app. You might get lost in something crunchy, cheesy, and delicious. Like a free $5 Chalupa Cravings box, available for a limited time when you sign up as a new rewards member. Sign up and discover more in the Taco Bell app.
Koulibaly connects on the free throws. Pittsburgh back within 10. As Bowie across for Northwestern. Bowie, a volume scorer for this Wildcat team. Now Chris Collins hoping he can be an efficient point guard as well. Hands it to Ryan Young, who turns it over to Koulibaly. Down the lane, lost the handle, threw it off of Young out of bounds.
Koulibaly wanted to be a point guard in that situation. He gets the steal and he tries to get to the rim. Loses the handle, but they retain possession. Here comes the big man. Get off the tracks. That train's coming.
Actually, a nice job by him as he lost control of the ball to at least be able to throw it off of Young.
Good reaction.
Tony the fadeaway, but can't get it to go.
And this second half, you see more pressure from Pitt as Xavier Johnson has gone out and pressured Bowie. Off makes and misses. Pitt trying to turn up the heat.
Ty Berry, the freshman, back in, hoists from deep. That's something you're going to see him do a lot this year for Northwestern. Can't get that to go. Johnson tries to answer for Pitt, and he does. Xavier Johnson buries the triple.
An emotional leader for this Pitt team. We talked about wanting him to be a more efficient three-point shooter. That one, he locked and loaded it. You can see much more pressure on the perimeter now, Jordan. By Pitt here in the second half. They are out pressuring passing lanes, trying to disrupt this offensive flow.
Koulibaly tries to come over, but commits the foul as Pittsburgh creeping back in. 7-point game here in Evanston.
4 teams.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Pandora. Listen to music from uninterrupted radio only on Pandora. See Chris Collins and Jeff Capel, the two longtime friends, former Duke teammates and former Duke assistant coaches as well. Of course, they were teammates from 1993 to 1996. In 94, they were the national runner-up as the starting guards for that Duke squad. The following year, they struggled and had an under 500 season, which you can't even think of at Duke. But both coaches, Kevin, talked about how that experience together brought them closer. They're incredibly close to this day, and it taught them how hard it is to win.
Well, the hair was not quite as gray for Chris Collins back in those pictures we looked at. And Jeff Capel, on his recruiting visit, his host was Chris Collins. Convinced him to come to Duke, and these two are so close. They text or talk almost daily. And with Chris Collins, it's great to have a friend that will be completely honest with you about your team.
These two coaches know these teams extremely well as Xavier Johnson knocks down the three and now has 11 in the game. But they know each other's teams. They talk about each other's teams all the time, but they both sort of felt like it wasn't that much of an advantage to either side, that each one knows the other because they're going to prepare their teams, try their best to win the game.
It's tough to play against your friend. I can tell you that from experience. And these guys are so close that Chris Collins, his children call Jeff Capel's uncle, and Jeff Capel's children call Chris Collins uncle.
All right, so I'm going to ask you, which friend of yours was it hardest to coach against?
Well, my first game as a head coach was against Greg McDermott. He wasn't coaching Creighton at the time. He was coaching Wayne State, Nebraska. I was at Nebraska, Omaha. I was an assistant at Northern Iowa. He had played for me. I was never so nervous in my life, and it was my first win. But Greg McDermott likes to tell me that he won the next three.
Well, that's great, and I'm sure it's a strange experience. Now, did you guys talk about it afterwards and break down the entire thing?
And here's the best part about that, Jordan. I ran a play against him out of bounds. I got a layup. The next year, he ran my play back at me and scored. I looked down the baseline. We just looked at each other, started laughing, and it became a running deal. So the next year, I took one of his plays and ran it back against him for a layup. We did that for 6 years back and forth.
I love that. That's great. Here's Johnson down the floor, off the window and in. And Pittsburgh now has this game within 5.
Well, they have picked up the pace defensively here in the second half for Pitt. Much more aggressive. There's a hard double team. Active hands.
Ryan Young feeds inside. Kopp against a double and is fouled on the way up.
Kopp set most of the first half. If you're picking up foul problems, you can see Johnson now trying to get coast to coast. Kisses it off the window. A good back cut by Kopp. Strong ball fake, draws the contact.
Xavier Johnson starting to heat things up. 13 points now after a slow start to this one. And Miller Kopp with a missed free throw, which you don't see a lot of, came into tonight 9 of 11 from the free throw stripe, but shot nearly 90% from the free throw line last year.
There may be a problem with the rim here on the left side because Pitt struggled to get the ball in the basket in the first half. Now, the Wildcats having some issues.
There's Jeffress from the corner, and Pittsburgh is building momentum now within 3.
The freshman, this is the second youngest player in the NCAA, William Jeffress.
Northwestern got off to a pretty good start by virtue of Pitt struggling so much from the field. They have comfortably led for most of this game, but now a 3-point lead.
Well, this young man hit a big hoop in the first half. Deep in the corner, the bench feels the excitement. They've got the lid off that hoop. It took the freshman to do it.
Foul picked up by Noah Collier. Pittsburgh on a 13-4 run to put themselves within 3, and Ryan Young trying to extend the lead for Northwestern.
They've got some Excellent minutes out of Ryan Young.
Ryan Young, a starter for all 31 games last season for the Northwestern Wildcats. And Chris Collins said, even though Ryan's probably not going to start as they push the pace a little bit more, he's going to be such an important player, and really lauded the way that Young handled some of the great big men in the Big Ten last season.
Really thought he was one of the best freshmen. Of course, the moving Nance to that 5 spot where he can play up high has opened up the lane. So they play a little different when Young comes in the post.
Champagny the bucket, and Pittsburgh back within 3. The Panthers have momentum at Evanston.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Ever wonder how the big jolly guy gets it all done in one night? He never skips an oil change. Get a Napa full synthetic 5-quart jug and platinum oil filter for just $22.98. That's Napa know-how.
This is the new iPhone 12.
by Pitt.
There's Tony underneath to clean up the miss, and Pittsburgh is now within one with 11:20 to go.
Well, they've been aggressive on the window this entire game.
Miller Kopp coming off a screen, misses. Another rebound for Champagny. Now 16 boards.
Top with a good looking. Xavier Johnson's led this charge back for Pitt. Big second half, he's got 16.
That time, Johnson turns it over, thought that Jeffress was going to be in the corner, but started coming back towards him.
Thought he was going zig, he ran a little zag.
But you know, when you look at the way that Johnson has played in the second half, 4 for 4 from the field after the 1 for 9 in the first half, just his facial expressions, he looks so locked in now.
Yeah, very emotional player. We saw that in the first half. Frustration on his face. Now you can see the confidence start to build as he knocks some shots in. And Pitt has climbed back in this game. They're just down by a penny.
Here's Bowie driving and draws the foul.
Now, that's a two-shot foul, but this is also the 10th team foul on Pitt. Bowie with aggressive drive. He's able to, I like the way he gets in the paint, draws contact, sells it. Now back at the free throw line.
Kevin, that's a big foul because that's number 4 on Xavier Johnson. So after the impact he's had in the second half, has to go to the bench as Bowie hits the free throw. Bowie's had a quiet night. All of his points have come at the free throw stripe. 0 for 5 from the field. He's making those free throws.
Experience of Johnson goes out. And Northwestern will put, again, that three-quarter-court trap with Johnson on the bench. Good time to run it. Their point guard out. So you got a freshman in there.
Femi Odekale into the game.
Odekale is first time we've seen him.
Jeffress in the corner. Nance flanking him. 3 seconds to shoot. Jeffress knocks it down.
Well, the freshman has been outstanding. This guy was ranked 82nd in his class. He's just a youngster. He's not turned 18. Still a 17-year-old. Stepped up big here in the second half for Pitt.
Back to a one-point game. Nance for 3 from the wing. That's well short, out of bounds.
Well, we talked about this freshman. Jeff Cable's excited about this young man. Dribble drive right to the paint. Gets his chin on the rim, squares the shoulders, and finishes.
Here's Tony. Odekale, the freshman who checked in with Johnson on the bench with 4 fouls. Spins around Barron, drives the paint, can't get it to fall. Loose on the ground. And a jump ball, but possession arrow will favor the Panthers. 3 seconds to shoot. But it resets to 20.
Well, the first half, these teams were kind of feeling each other out. But second half here, they are battling for every loose ball, every offensive rebound, and Pitt has really stepped up the pressure defensively.
And now an offensive foul, and it's going the other way. So Collier picks up his 3rd. Fouls on the screen.
Yeah, every chance Pitt has an opportunity to take the lead in this game. They shoot themselves in the foot. Boy, Jeff Capel. Illegal screen on your OB under. You don't want that turnover.
Bowie for 3 from the wing. Splash. Bowie with his first field goal of the night, and it comes at a perfect time for Northwestern to give their lead a little bit of cushion, now up 4.
They ran action away from Bowie, brought it back to him. That was a deep 3.
Champagny almost lost that one, but works here against Barron. Now they're going to whistle Robbie Barron. That's number 4 on Barron.
You can see Deej take that ball to the right. It's a misdirection play. Bowie just squares and sets and finishes. Big basket for the Wildcats. Nicely executed.
Odekale for Pitt with 8 to shoot. Champagny in on Nance and puts it in.
Nice feed by the freshman. Odekale over the top.
And Miller Kopp the quick answer for the Wildcats.
Kopp has been quiet most of this half. That was a big basket.
Kopp has been quiet a lot of this game, just 2 for 8 from the field, 5 points. Came in averaging about 17 a game, and now on the turnover, here's Gaines to the rack.
That's what they want out of Gaines, their best defender. He has a set of handcuffs in his locker. He's going to lock you down. Anthony Gaines, big steal and conversion.
And a timeout on the floor as it got within 1, but now Northwestern has built the lead back to 6. Steal by Anthony Gaines. There's that lockdown D, and he turns it into offense for Western, and at the top right of his jersey, you see the patch that all of his teammates are wearing. The raised fist holding the pound the rock hammer symbolizes the ongoing fight against racial injustice and systemic racism in the country. Change doesn't happen overnight. It does not happen alone. It's great that Northwestern's players are being given this voice to try to enact change in their community, and a clever but also powerful symbol created by Anthony Gaines for the jerseys, and Northwestern will wear them on all their uniform combinations this season.
It's also, as you enter their locker room, right on the wall outside, the patch, pound the rock patch. Anthony Gaines showing his leadership not only on the court, but off the court.
And even though Anthony Gaines missed 21 games last year with a shoulder injury, Chris Collins has made it clear that his teammates respect him so much that there was no question about who would be the captain of this year's team.
Well, two-time captain. They voted him captain. Previous to this also, that you mentioned that injury last year, he missed 21 games. Anthony Gaines, they need him healthy.
Bowie back at the free throw line after the foul on Odekali. Bowie has made his living at the line tonight.
A double bonus here for the rest of the game for Northwestern as the aggressive play by Pitt has led to too many fouls. It's going to be an advantage down the stretch here for the Wildcats.
Bowie now with 11 points, and he's 8 of 9 from the stripe.
Now Xavier Johnson still on the bench for Pitt. How long does Jeff Capel leave his point guard out? He led the charger in the second half for Pitt.
John Hughley, the freshman, with the fadeaway shot from the baseline off target, but Pitt will keep it. There's Johnson. And yeah, I think it's a very good question, Kevin. And how do you manage those minutes? Because you obviously want him on the floor late, but you don't want him picking up that last foul. Do you wait until the under 4 timeout?
Well, that, or you look at time and score, not only time, but you got to look at score too, George, because if they can stay within striking distance, if it gets to 8 or 9, you got to get him back in the game. As long as you can keep this thing to 4, a chance to cut it to 3, you can keep your junior point guard on the bench and bring him in under 5.
Off the Tony miss, that's Champagnie again. He's now got a career high with 18 rebounds as he gets the second chance points here, and he's got 14 points.
He has been a beast on the window.
And Gaines has picked up his 5th foul, and so he is done for the evening. So Champagnie now at the free throw line trying to complete the 3-point play. He's just been everywhere tonight, Kevin.
Well, that's what Jeff Capel said. This kid really wants to be good. He works at it, and he is certainly planted his flag in the lane.
Jeffress ran in for the rebound. Young gets the block, but now Pitt another chance, and Tony buries the 3.
Offensive rebound, defense is not set. Tony finds the open wood, and now a zone by Pitt.
Now it's a 1-point game yet again, under 7 minutes to go.
Capel going to zone because of the amount of fouls.
And Ryan Young, against 2 defenders, puts it in off the window.
Young has such soft hands. Catch, kept the ball high, got it up quick.
Jeffress has given Pitt good minutes off the bench in this one.
He's been outstanding, the freshman. Big
And
basket in the first half. Jeffress came back with a couple in the second half.
Hughley inside against Young, and he traveled.
There's the shot by Tony off the missed shot, and he drains it up top. And now, the big man gets his defender on an island, a little head and shoulder fake. That's old school basketball, Jordan. Ryan Young delivering for the Wildcats.
A throwback post player for sure. Ryan Young.
He's that guy you pick in that rec league pickup game, because he's going to destroy that dude inside.
And he's probably taller than everyone in a rec league pickup game.
Oh, he's got such a soft set of mitts. Pitt going to stay in this zone. Trying to keep Northwestern off the free throw line.
Young, nice pass to Nance, who flushes with 2 hands.
Got swarmed by the defense, hands all over. Young kept his composure. Nice delivery, bounce pass.
He has good court vision too, Ryan Young.
And that was a great play. He had to wait for the seat apart before he found his partner underneath.
Got the steal. Audige to Young, who draws the foul.
Okay, we've seen here in the second half, Chris Collins playing his 2 bigs together. He moved Nance that 4 spot, brings Ryan Young as the 5 to play in the middle of the zone. Rim dive by Pete Nance. The delivery by Ryan Young.
Ryan Young back to the free throw line. We were talking earlier, Kevin, about how Northwestern wanted to speed up the pace with Barron and Nance as the 4 and the 5, but as it's turned out in this game, because Pittsburgh has slowed the tempo, Ryan Young has been really important for Chris Collins.
Well, and we're seeing, we talked about this being the youngest team in the Big Ten last year, Northwestern, one of the youngest in the country, but this is the experience that's paying off right now. The lumps they took last year.
Johnson splits the defenders, misses the shot. It rolls around off the rim, and Miller Kopp has got it. Johnson back in the game now with 5:20 to go and 4 fouls. Foul whistle. Coach Capel not happy. Technical foul.
He just got bounced with a tee.
Jeff Capel evidently said something to the officials to cause the technical foul. And that's a huge foul in this game because of what it will potentially result in here. Yeah, Capel's out on the court.
And you saw Johnson fly underneath the basketball standard as we saw the tail end of it. He got hit hard. Capel went right to the official. Let him know his thoughts.
Miller Kopp splits the free throws. Again, a little bit of a surprise given how good a free throw shooter Kopp is. But now, of course, Northwestern gets the ball back, so they could really extend this lead again following the tee.
Pitt hung around with Johnson on the bench. He came back in, but they tried that zone. They're back in man-to-man. They got carved up by Ryan Young in that zone defense.
Bowie threw it away. Jeffress on the run against two defenders, but can't make the dunk. Oh, boy. Had space to throw it down, but could not get the dunk to fall through.
Well, that's a freshman error. You have to convert in that situation.
And now Young travels. And so Pittsburgh gets the ball back with under 5 minutes to go.
Ryan Young, some happy feet. Pulled the pivot foot. Johnson can pick up the pace again for Pitt.
Tony stops and pops inside the three-point arc and knocks down the long two.
Defender went under the ball screen. Tony read it well. The pull-up jumper. See if that text go by. Jeff Capel fires up this Pitt team.
Bowie for three, yes! Bowie with a big-time three for Northwestern.
Oh, the guts of a cat burglar. How about that three ball from deep up the ball screen?
Now a 9-point lead again, but Pitt answers back with Johnson hitting the three. And Xavier Johnson now with 19 points and keeping Pitt in it. Northwestern a 6-point advantage under 4 minutes left in Evanston. ESPN. 64-58, Northwestern the lead with 3:59 left in this one. The Big Ten trying to get themselves their 7th win in this ACC Big Ten Challenge, but Pittsburgh trying to creep it back. They can come back with a win tonight. And this has been a fun one. This has gotten closer, and the Big Three making contributions for Pittsburgh.
When Tony comes over that ball screen, Gige goes underneath. How about this one by Bowie? Knocks it in. And Johnson had to sit in the bench with that 4th foul. He comes back and drains one from the corner. Xavier Johnson with 19 for Pitt.
So Northwestern the basketball, Bowie 14 and 5 assists, Johnson 19 points and 4 fouls that he's working with here in the late moments. And Ryan Young again underneath draws the foul and will go back to the line.
Ryan Young has a knack for finding the basketball. Bowie with a tough shot, the big man right there underneath draws the contact.
So now Abdul Kareem Koulibaly has fouled out. So he's got 5 and is done. So Hughley, the freshman, comes back in for Pitt. But Ryan Young has been a force underneath, 11 points, 7 rebounds, make it 12 points.
Starting experience from last year paying off for Ryan Young. And they played down the stretch here with Pete Nance as the 4 spot. They've gone big, Chris Collins' Wildcat team, with Nance and Young in together.
Jeffress underneath, Hughley the dunk and the foul.
Well, the zone pressure had been good for the Wildcats. That time, Pitt able to find a crack. Comes out of the trap, gets the ball in the middle. Excellent play on the baseline.
Third foul on Pete Nance. John Hughley, the freshman out of Cleveland, trying to complete the 3-point play for Pitt.
Jeff Capel called Hughley his most talented postman. The freshman still learning the game.
Pitt's had some monster recruiting classes the last couple of years. One of the reasons why Jeff Capel feels like his team may be ready to turn the corner this year.
Well, a nationally ranked 2021 class coming in.
Young inside, the kick out, Bowie for 3 from the corner off target. Pitt down the floor, trailing by 5. Champagny stops and puts it in.
Excellent body control to stop and pop by Champagny. Here comes Pitt. Can they make a stop again?
Champagny with 16 points, a career best 19 rebounds in this game. Northwestern up 3, under 3 minutes left. Audige for 3, too strong. Pitt can tie it here.
Too strong and maybe too quick in the shot clock. Chris Collins, told us, can they conquer the beast? Can they win close games? This Northwestern team.
Last year, Northwestern was 8-23, 3-17 in the Big Ten. They feel like they were competitive in a lot of those games and why they feel like they can win it. But if Pitt comes back, Justin Champagny has been one of the big reasons why.
He has been outstanding. First half on the glass, scoring in the second half for Pitt.
Pete Nance tries to rip away the rebound, and a jump ball is called, and possession arrow will give it to Northwestern.
And we talked in the open about the big 3 of Pitt. Johnson with 19, Tony with 16, Champagny with 16. Johnson wanting the jump ball. Now full court pressure. Pitt going to turn up the juice.
How much pressure can you put on when you've got Johnson at the top with 4 fouls?
Well, they just backed off, Jordan. Good observation. They tried the zone for a bit, but Ryan Young carved up the zone. Playing inside, out.
Audige turns around in the lane and hits the tough shot.
Oh, cold-blooded.
Back to a 5-point lead for Northwestern with 2 minutes left.
Well, Chris Collins talked about Audige. He's the guy that can get his own basket. The transfer from William & Mary shows the excitement the Wildcats, as he set out last year, they watched him do this for a year as a redshirt. Ability to get buckets in late shot clock situations, create his own basket. Adish, excellent balance and footwork.
And a timeout taken by Chris Collins and Northwestern with 1:56 remaining here in this game in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. And Northwestern has led for most of this one. They were buoyed by a rough start offensively from Pittsburgh, in which they started 3 of 25 from the field. They have led the whole way through, even though Pittsburgh has gotten within one several times. But the Wildcats, to their credit, Kevin, they've had answers when Pitt's climbed back in.
They have answered the challenge. It's been by different players to buoy, big basket. Ryan Young has been outstanding for them. But now, can they finish? Chris Collins said this game is a litmus test for his team. Can they finish a close game? The experience they went through last year in these situations is going to help. But this young man here at the free throw line, Xavier Johnson, has been outstanding in the second half for the Pitt Panthers.
Johnson, 19 points, and has been hot in the second half after starting 1 for 9 in the first half. Now over 20 for the Panthers. Back within 4.
You know, that technical that Jeff Caples had fired up his team. They got more aggressive. Northwestern did not able to take advantage of that technical free throw and the ensuing possession. And now here comes the pressure.
Nance can get the ball up the floor. Decides to hand off to Bowie.
You have to stay in attack mode if you're Northwestern.
Dangerous pass to Young there at the top. Bowie lost his footing. And now Bowie to the corner. Kopp, 4 seconds to shoot. Pulls up for the jumper and hits.
Now that is a confidence booster. They ran that shot clock down to 4 seconds. Dodge bolt after bolt. Quick hands by Pitt. I like the composure on that possession.
Johnson, a 3 as he stepped back, can't get it to go, and Northwestern's got it back as the clock will trickle under a minute to go here at Welsh Ryan Arena.
That was a big basket by Miller Kopp.
Miller Kopp, that steady presence. Coming through with a big bucket for the Wildcats, and now they have 9 to shoot. Bowie against Johnson. Barron for 3 from the wing. Too short. Johnson there to grab it.
Well, Pitt has to be quick.
Tony, the drive, and draws the foul.
I like what Deuce Tony did. Straight line drive, get the rim, great contact. Now you score points with the clock stopped.
Dees Tony in this game has 16 points and 8 rebounds. Pete Nance picking up his 4th personal. 34.4 left. And the first one good. So Tony with 17, Champagny with 16, Johnson 21. So the big 3 doing what it does in this game tonight for Pitt.
Slow start, but they come on strong here. Now this is important free throw. Gets you down to 1 possession. Plus you can set your pressure as the Wildcats take it out.
3-point game.
4-second difference on the shot clock.
Against the pressure. Bowie's got to get rid of it, and he turns it over. Underneath Champagny, yes! With 26.9 left and a timeout taken by Chris Collins, it's a 1-point game.
The freshman, Odukali, with a great trap, and then the presence to get it quickly into Champagny, who finishes.
The freshman Odukali gets the steal and beats Champagny.
Long arms, knocks it loose, and looks right to the basket. Champagny with the finish.
So now, how does Northwestern beat this pressure?
You got just under 27 seconds. So if you're Pitt, you're going to put pressure. You're going to try and trap the ball. At some point, though, Jordan, you're going to have to foul to get this basketball back. But you have time to be selective on who you want to foul. Let's see who Chris Collins brings in for his hands team and his free throw team.
70-69, Northwestern the 1-point lead. Chris Collins and his team trying to draw up something here. This is where you got these two coaches that are best friends trying to scheme against each other to see who gets a win in the final moments.
You know, I asked them, you coached together, you played together. Do you kind of know each other's tendencies? And they both kind of played it off, but they know what each likes to run this situation. Now, understand that the Wildcats can run the baseline. They're going to have Nance inbounded at 6'10", excellent passer. Now, whose hands do you want to get it in? Because he may be fouled immediately.
Bowie's been great at the free throw line tonight. I think they'd like to get it into him. They're running out of time here. Finally, they get it into Kopp. Good pressure. Nance, will they get this ball across the court in time? They do. They beat the pressure. Bowie down the floor, and he's fouled by Jeffress. That got dicey, but Northwestern in the final moments there able to get it across the floor and draw the foul.
And we've talked all game about Nance being moved that 5 spot. Commons let him inbound the ball. Now he's going to bring it up in the break and finds Bowie at the end of the press. I like the aggressiveness by Bowie. He's been outstanding from the free throw line this game. He's going to go stop back there again. He's 8 for 9 in this game.
Bowie 2 for 9 from the field, but like you said, Kevin, 8 for 9 from the free throw line. And it looked like they were initially trying to get it into Bowie, but credit Pittsburgh. They did a great job on him.
Wildcats dodged some bullets that they had. Kopp got trapped in the corner.
And now Bowie misses the first. A huge miss. Now some substitutions here as these two coaches, best friends since college, trying to out-scheme the other.
And Ryan Young back in. Kopp.
Bowie misses both. Shot clock off. Pittsburgh has a chance to win it.
They're going to put in the hands of Johnson. Look for a high ball screen.
Johnson driving inside of the flush from Champagnie with 5.6. Timeout taken, Chris Collins. Justin Champagnie with authority. And he has had a monster game to lead Pitt to a 1-point advantage with 5.6 seconds left.
Set up by Xavier Johnson, though. He turns the corner. Champagnie has made a living on that baseline. The ball screen's not even in effect. And you can see Barron steps up. Champagnie slides behind. Nice delivery.
Champagnie's got 20 and 20 in this game.
And he finished that one with authority. The first lead for Pitt. Punch it through, young man.
Well, Pitt found the guy they wanted to have the basketball in the waning moments. Justin Champagnie, even when he was struggling early in this game offensively, Kevin, was a monster on the boards. And now he's got 20 points, 20 rebounds, and he's the reason that Pitt has the lead.
Well, also we've had Xavier Johnson sat with those 4 fouls. We said, when is Jeff Cable going to bring him back in? His penetration made that play. So you got Robbie Barron to step up. Champagnie slides behind, climbs the ladder, and punches it through.
First lead of the game for Pittsburgh. Northwestern's got to get the ball in. And now a whistle. Pete Nance throwing his hands in the air.
Well, what happened was they threw the ball underneath the baseline, and the clock started.
Yep, it was
never inbounded.
1.6 seconds came off the clock. Yep.
Made basket. See, watch this now. Steps out. Clock started.
Good catch there. Yeah, Nance threw his hands up like, what's going on here?
Well, the unfortunate part about that is now Pitt knows what Northwestern was trying to run, so Chris Collins has to reset a new play.
Give the ball to Audige. Do you give it to Bowie? We'll see.
I put it in Audige's hands, and he's just got to go to the rim.
Inbound to Barron. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Audige has it with 2, with 1. Can he get the shot up? No! And the Pitt Panthers win it 71-70. They come all the way back and pick up a dramatic win for the ACC. For Kevin Lehman, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Jordan Burnfield. Thank you so much for watching. Now Big Ten 6, ACC 5.